Daniel Sturridge said something very, very important on Sunday after Liverpool's draw with Manchester United in the Sky Sports studio. And whilst those are having a go at Trent, whilst Jamie Carragher specifically is going in on Trent, going in on Mohamed Salah at the moment, Daniel Sturridge sat there and spoke absolute facts. He spoke the absolute truth, and I applaud him for it, because someone needed to say it. Someone needs to stand up for these players. Someone needs to start putting the owners and the club to blame for what's going on with the contracts right now. And I'm glad someone in the Sky Sports studio on record in that moment said something. Daniel Sturridge, fucking brilliant. I love it because Gary Neville says it. Gary Neville says, why is the club put him in this point of view? And he's a Man United fan here. He has no reason to stand up for Liverpool players here. What he is doing is telling you the truth. Just same way Jamie Carragher told Gary Neville about the Glazers. But Jamie Carragher has this weird obsession for never calling out the ownership at Liverpool Football Club. And that sits up with most people that are like that in terms of who protect FSG. And you don't have to be FSG out, you don't have to be FSG or whatever, but you've got to be fucking real here. You've got to be real, and you've got to be unbiased. You've got to be not a gender push. You've got to be not a narrative push. And this is what we're seeing now from Jamie Carragher, is this narrative. He'd rather have a go at Klopp. He'd rather have a go at Mohamed Salah at the moment. He'd rather put Trent up for the blame. But FSG. He's never once questioned FSG. And Daniel Sturridge sat there, a Liverpool fan, former Liverpool player, and he sat there and he spoke absolute truth. And that's what we needed. That's exactly what we needed. We need people like this in positions that they're in, with the platform that they have, to say something like that, because it's not on. It's not on at all. Yes, regarding Trent Alexander-Arnold, I've said it on here. Look, as a Liverpool fan, I don't get it why you'd want to go. However, exactly what Daniel Sturridge said here, they shouldn't be in this predicament. And Gary Neville said it as well. Why are they all in the last 6 months of their contracts? This is on the club. This is on the club. And it shouldn't have to take someone like Daniel Sturridge to say this to you, Jamie. It shouldn't have to take someone like Gary Neville to say this to you, Jamie. But you're still not listening to them, regardless. I get that people have access to the club, and I get people sometimes don't say anything in case they lose that access to the club, but sometimes you've got to be real. You've got to be real, and at the end of the day, I've said it countless times. Imagine Trent wasn't a Scouse. Imagine Trent wasn't a Liverpool fan. We're going into this January transfer with our 26-year-old, one of our best players in our team, going into his prime, and he can speak to anyone for free. That's forgetting Salah and Van Dijk, by the way. They can speak to anyone for free. I think, regarding Salah and Van Dijk specifically, because of the ages they are, they have this policy of, like, a certain age, you don't get an extension, don't get a run. I get that for most players, but these two are not stopping. And I think they were hoping for these two to drop off, so they had the excuse of letting them go for free, because they never really want to give lucrative deals out. They never want to give decent wages out. They'd always like to reset and go cheap again, and go cheap in, don't pay Mohamed Salah, don't pay Van Dijk, don't pay Trent. Instead, go cheap. We've got Gordon Bradley coming up. We've got Ben Doak coming up. Or go buy someone else that's 30 million. Go a cheap way about things. And that's not how you stay at the top. You stay at the top by keeping your best players and then going in to improve every single season and wanting to strengthen. We don't need a Bellingham. But my God, we need to do better than this in terms of ambition. And Daniel Sturridge, I'm so happy that someone stood there. And what got me in that conversation between Sturridge and Carragher was Carragher's cockiness and sheer. He put him down. I could tell Sturridge was fuming. He was fuming the way he spoke to him. And it's like, and they said to Gary Neville, I know more than you. It's like, you might know a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that you're right. It's this looking down on other people because they're in positions of of power. They're in positions of a platform, and they're in positions of, oh, I get to go to games, or I get to be in this box. I get to speak to these people. I get to speak to the players. So you can have a better opinion on what's going on. At the end of the day, if we lose all three, I can guarantee you now there's going to be uproar. And that's not just from me. That's from, I'd say 95%. I bet there's still a 5% of the fan base that'll somehow cling on to FSG with all their might, because it's a weird clinging on they've got onto that. But 95% of the fan base will fucking turn massively if we lose all these three. And Carragher, you're going to turn you've gone too far, mate. You've got a lot of Liverpool fans don't like you anyway. But what you're doing right now in terms of going after Salah, going after Trent, yeah, Trent played shit, and we'll all say that, and we expect better. We expect a better, not just performance, but expect better trying from Trent, because he didn't look like he was trying on Sunday, which pissed a lot of people off. However, if you're going after one thing, you need to be fucking the same energy. You need to have the same energy. You need to be consistent. We can't have got these players for wanting more or doing this or leaving for free if we can't have got this ownership for letting this happen in the first place. These guys should have been, their contract should have been looked at before Klopp said he was off. There should have been discussions before. This is neglect. This is negligence at the highest of orders. And people with platforms don't dare fucking say it. It's, what do you care about here most? Because I care about Liverpool Football Club. I care about that team. I care about that manager. I care about these players. I care about the staff that work around Liverpool. The people that, the hard workers, the groundsmen, people that are hard-working, people that are keeping this club going. But then you've got rich businessmen that clearly don't care about the club. It's quite clear they don't care about the club. We're just an asset to them right now. It's quite clear they don't care about the club. And what do you care about more? Them as businessmen, or do you care about the club and actual going forward in life and going forward in where we are? Because right now, we are disrespecting three of our best players, three of our greatest players in the last 30 years. We're disrespecting them massively by not calling out FSG, by not saying, look, hang on, why are they in the last 6 months here? What are you doing? What was your plan? Was you planning on letting Salah and Van Dijk go because they're getting a bit old? Was you planning on letting Trent go? Because that's what it looks like right now. That's what it looks like. Trent, I get certain things regarding the Trent situation and regarding the opinions on Trent. I've said it on here a couple of times now that I think, as a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't ever want to go from Liverpool. I don't get why you want to go from Liverpool. But to put it all on the players and not call them out, Jamie, especially Jamie Carragher, the way he's going for Mohamed Salah right now, it's beyond weird. To the point, even like praise Van Dijk it was like a praise for Van Dijk, but merely putting Trent and Salah down at the same time. It's weird. But then you protect FSG. Then you don't talk about FSG. It's the same on overlap. Because Gary Neville will say something to you, you knock it down. And the fans that have been on overlap, they'll just go like this about FSG. Why? I just think it's ignorant at this point. And we are going to talk about FSG further on in the week. I've got a special recording tomorrow with rival fans as well as one of our own fans as well. What their thoughts are on FSG and what their thoughts are on contract situations. But Daniel Sturridge, thank fuck you were there, and thank God you said this. They shouldn't be in this predicament. They shouldn't be in this situation. Gary Neville, thank you as well. You said it's on the club. People need to start talking the truth. People need to say how it is. And that's the way it should be. I don't like people hiding the truth. I don't like people skirting around certain situations. I don't like narratives. I don't like agendas. We need to have a proper discussion here before we're losing all our 3 players here at the moment. And if we lose all 3, it's game over.